For 25, we want to first eliminate the parameter to obtain an equation in x and y. So 25, we're given that x is equal to r minus 1, y is equal to r cubed, and the parameter r is bounded between -4 to +4. So we have that x is equal to r minus 1, and y is equal to r cubed. So what we have to do here is we have to isolate r, and we're going to isolate r in the first equation because it's going to be easier for us. So this here, if we bring 1 to the left-hand side, we have that x plus 1 is equal to r. And now we're going to plug in the value of r in the y equation. So y is equal to r cubed, but r is x plus 1. So y is equal to x plus 1 cubed. So our equation is going to be y is x plus 1 cubed, but we're not finished because the parameter is limited from -4 to 4. So it means that this curve here is also going to be limited, right? So previously in these equations, x and y in terms of r, we had that r was the input. Now, in our equation in terms of x and y, we have that x is the input. So we have to limit x as well. So let's plug in the lower boundary of r to get a lower boundary of x. So if r is equal to -4, x is going to be equal to -4 minus 1. So x is going to be -5 when r is equal to -4. And x is going to be equal to, now let's plug in the upper boundary 4. So x is going to be equal to 4 minus 1, so which means that x is equal to 3 when r is equal to +4. So we can see here that x is bounded between -5 and 3, and that corresponds to the boundaries of r, which goes from -4 to 4, because x is r minus 1. So we're going to say that x is bounded between 3 and between -5. Okay, so let me rewrite this. So this here is the curve that we get. We've done item A. And item B, we have to describe what kind of curve it is, and we have to indicate the positive orientation. So this curve is just a cubic curve, but we can see that it's x plus 1. So x plus 1, it indicates a shift to the left of 1 unit. So this is a cubic curve shifted 1 unit to the left. And now to indicate the positive orientation, we have to say where it begins and where it ends. So it begins at so where it begins on the x is -5. That's the first value of x. So it begins at the point -5, comma, and now we have to get the image of -5. So we're going to plug in -5 into this equation here. So y is going to be -5 plus 1 cubed, which is -4 cubed, which is -64. So when x is -5, y is -64. So that's the first point. So we plugged in the lower boundary of x, and now we're going to plug in the upper boundary of x. So the upper boundary of x, we are going to have, plug in 3 here. Y is going to be equal to 3 plus 1 cubed, which is 4. So y is going to be equal to 4 cubed, which is 64. So it begins at the point -5, comma, -64, which is the first x boundary, and ends at 3, which is the upper boundary of x, comma, 64. So that is it for problem 25.